Do you ever feel like trying to be perfect is holding you back? I'm going to share a lesson with you that took me over 10 years to learn and almost completely destroyed my business. Imagine spending countless hours in your shop perfecting every detail only to realize it's hurting your business more than it's helping. This was my reality and it almost completely destroyed everything. That was until I discovered Gitmo, good enough to move on. And that changed everything. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps that I took to adopt the Gitmo mindset, how it completely revolutionized my business, how it can help yours, and how it's really going to help you achieve that balance between productivity and efficiency so you don't get stuck in that perfectionism trap. Now, Gitmo is pretty easy to understand, but really hard to implement, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because all it means is just make something good enough and just move on, right? Make it 80, 95% good and just move on. The problem with that, and you know as just as well as I do, the problem with that is us woodworkers, we love trying to be perfectionists, right? Whether it's sanding the perfect top on the table, whether it's getting that perfect tool, whether it's building the perfect miter station, right? Whether it's getting that perfect Festool domino joiner so you can finally make this end table, because without that domino joiner, you could never make it before. Well, newsflash, every big major company that I've seen has never had any of these nice tools, right? They had nice industrial equipment, but they didn't get there from like buying a woodpecker square. For reference, I have all of this. I started with a $75 saw from Harbor Freight and then grew it to what it is today. We've done millions of dollars in wood product sales, and I never bought a woodpecker, never bought a Festool, and I just discovered what micro jig was like 3 months ago. I literally never heard about it. So it doesn't really matter about the tool and about all of this stuff, right? I can't overemphasize this enough. What really matters is just Gitmo. And so let me take you back there, explain what I used to do, and so I can just teach you this process, because like this is the bread and butter of what really matters. I mean, I just got goosebumps. This is going to be such an important lesson for you to understand. So let me take you back there, show you the things that I've done, show you where I screwed up, and show you how you can implement it in your shop. So when I speak on perfectionism, this is what it looks like, right? So I'm going to take you through this cycle and what I used to do for years and years and years, and then tell you how it really hurt my business. So this is my router station, right? I knew if a product goes here, it should take 31 seconds. We're talking about a specific product, right? But if I knew if it went here, it should take 31 seconds. And then a 1.5 second transition, it would come here to another station and would take 8 seconds to brand if the brand was on properly. And then another 1.5 second transition to here, and then it'd come to the flap sander, right? And you turn it on, and it would take, you flap sand it, and it would take 13 seconds on one side, 13 seconds on another side, an extra 3 seconds here. And then as I came over to the sanding table, if I sanded it with a random orbital sander, it was going to take 30 seconds. And then whenever I detailed it with this stick, it shaved an extra 5 seconds off regular hand sanding. And then if the CNC did a better job, it saved us about a minute on sanding. And all that sounded so good. And this is what I did for years. I'm talking 3 years. I was down here every single day going over every single system in our shop, just like this with every single product. I was in every single detail. I had hundreds and hundreds of timesheets, and I would stand behind my employees and I would time them and I'd show them how to do it better and implement all this stuff because I thought I was doing the right thing. But over years and years of doing that, my business started to go downhill, and I couldn't figure out why, right? Because I had the most efficient way to possibly make a product. And then I started visiting other shops. And I'd go to other shops and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so much more efficient than you. Like, y'all guys don't even have a CNC. Y'all are cutting all this stuff out by hand. Like, what are y'all doing? And I realized something, and it just hit me. And I was like, it doesn't matter about how good you can make something. If you don't have sales coming in, if you're not selling the thing you're making, then it doesn't matter. And so the most important thing to focus on was sales and marketing. It wasn't how efficient I was going to be making the product, because I can have the most efficient shop in the world with automation everywhere, but if I don't sell a dang product, it's not going to run, right? And so that lesson right there was so big, and I had to figure out a way in my head to get over, the fact that I can't be down here every single second. I'm going to lose seconds over here. I had to get over that fact. And so Gitmo is kind of what came out of it. Now, I will give some credit. An awesome subscriber. He's doing a great job. He's building a great business. Lynn came over the other day, and I was telling him about this framework and this mindset shift. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's called Gitmo. And so, Lynn, this is to you. Thank you for the actual phrase Gitmo. So let's go and give you some real numbers on how it affected my business and some different things I did and how you can implement this too. So let's go over some things in my shop that I changed and how it can help you. So this right here is a wheelbarrow load full of scrap. And I used to know exactly down to the 0.1 percentage point how much waste each of our products had and all that good stuff. And I quickly realized after talking to multiple people after not worrying about this so much, you typically have products in like a third basis. So a third of it's typically going to be labor, a third of it's typically going to be materials, and a third is going to be overhead and machinery cost. That's pretty standard in most woodworking applications. And so as I was just trying to do this and get the most small amount of waste possible, right? Like this was too much waste at the time. Once I started implementing Gitmo, just good enough to move on, I realized that I had time to like negotiate prices a lot better. And so we buy walnut by a truckload. And so just by buying one negotiated truckload of walnut and finding the right supplier, we saved $40,000 in one load. Now, you're not buying $40,000 or $80,000 of wood at any time, but how you can implement this is like search for wood more. Like don't worry about saving every little single piece, which is okay to do. I'm not knocking it, but maybe go out there and search a little harder for wood. Like don't just go to the same exact shop that's charging you $14 a board foot for walnut, right? Like go out and maybe try to find some nooks and crannies with a little bit cheaper materials. Now, how we implemented over here on the CNC was I used to stand beside this shop saber for 16 hours at a time, tweaking a program, right? I would run it and tweak it until it's so perfect, cutting out the most perfect piece ever. And what it did is, one, I got really good at running CNCs and stuff like that. But over time, it was just like lost time. As I did this, I quickly realized the percentages of how you get better over time. And so with anything in your shop or with the CNC, if something takes you 5 minutes to cut out, your first iteration is probably going to make you 40 to 50% better. So it's going to take you 2 to 3 minutes to do that second batch. And then whenever you implement and critique it again, it's going to get about 10% better. Then after that, about 5% better. And so anything after that 5%, just be done. And so in our shop, we make 3 iterations. If we're having a new panel glue up process, we tweak it once, twice, 3 times, done. I used to stand there and tweak it 1,000 times. Don't do that. It's not worth it. You're wasting your time. So what you do at that time now is you make that sales call, right? You take better photos. You call on your past customers. You write thank you notes. Now you're not in the shop worried about something being perfect. You're out there either making more product, making more sales, calling more customers, and just doing a better job overall. This is so important, and I don't know if I communicated it the best of my ability, but it is so important just to understand this concept. Like you do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have a perfect shop. You do not have to have perfect anything. Just start building and start making and calling on customers and just do the thing, because thinking about the thing and doing the thing are 2 different things, right? And because I'm so passionate about this, I am coming out with CIC Academy here pretty soon. There is a link in the description so you can sign up and get founders pricing. It's going to be mind-blowing because I'm taking all of these lessons, putting them in courses in a big, giant community so you can access all the courses for free and do your thing. So thank you so much, guys. I hope this teaches you a ton. And remember, if you ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right.